Okay, so this is a really quick one because something big happened today. I don't want to say it was life-changing, but it was life-changing. Now, not only did I make eye contact with Cassie Jaye, and not only did I talk to her, but we actually made physical contact. I've been really trying, baby. In case you missed it, on Thursday night, Cassie was interviewed on Channel 10's The Project, in which she tried to talk about her film The Red Pill, but it was more of an attack than it was an interview. Now, I won't bore you with the whole thing, but here's a small segment, and if you want to watch the whole thing, I'll put the link in the description.
Do you have an understanding as to why those protests are there?
I do not. This is my first time visiting Australia. I'm curious what is different about Australia that makes this topic so polarizing and so fearful to people that they actually want to shut it down and silence it and pull it from theaters. I'm not sure why there's so much resistance in Australia.
Cassie, I think it could be to do with the fact that a couple of years ago, our Australian of the Year was a mum who lost her only son at the hands of his father in a domestic violence incident. One woman is killed every week at the hands of domestic violence. It's really on the agenda here in Australia. It's not tolerated, and we're really trying to move forward and get it on a path where women aren't dying. I think that is why your film has hit a nerve.
And it was his son that passed?
It was her son who was killed by his father.
I didn't know about that, but that is interesting because it shows that there are male victims of domestic violence.
Yep, awkward silence, because she fucking nailed it. Now, when I spoke to her, I actually brought up the interview, and the first thing she did was roll her eyes, which sums it up perfectly. Now, luckily, I managed to steal Cassie for just a few minutes to chat about how that interview went down. Okay, we are here with Cassie Jaye. Thank you very much for coming to see me. I've managed to steal like 30 seconds with Cassie Jaye, so I'm going to take advantage of it. So I want to quickly chat to you about the 7pm project and what happened there. Now, the 7pm project are notoriously known for trying to pull people apart. Did you go into that interview expecting anything to happen?
No, because, I didn't think it'd be as bad as it turned out to be, because I spoke to a producer earlier that morning and she assured to me that all the panelists had seen the Red Pill movie. Mm-hmm. It was clear after my interview with them that they had not seen the film because everything they asked me was not in my film or related to my film. And they were repeating misinformation about myself and the Red Pill movie that has been copied and repasted in all these articles, especially in Australia, to discredit me in the film. So, I didn't realize it would be that much of an ambush.
Yeah. Now, the interview itself looked fairly edited. How long was the interview, and what sort of things did they forget to include?
Well, my interview with them was at least 15 minutes long, and less than 5 minutes made it to airing. Mm-hmm. So some of the questions and answers that they deliberately cut out of my interview was they asked me how the film was funded. Was it funded by MRAs? And I explained very well how the film was funded, and they chose to take that out of the aired episode, and they also included in their little video intro to my segment saying that it was funded by MRAs with over 2,000 person figure next to the word MRAs, suggesting that over 2,000 MRAs funded my film, which is entirely untrue and misleading. And I dispelled that myth because it wasn't funded by MRAs. It was funded by 3 self-identifying feminists, myself, my mother, who's my producer, and my camera person, my fiance. And then I turned to Kickstarter to fund the post-production of the film so that I could keep complete creative control over the project. And feminists, as well as MRAs and people in the middle, funded the Kickstarter campaign, so all across the board, and none of them had any influence or say over the final product. So the film that is the Red Pill movie was entirely my own creation and choice, and I wasn't influenced by any kind of organization or outside funding to make a propaganda piece or anything that the project is trying to suggest.
Have you had any similar issues with other forms of Australian media, or was it primarily them?
I believe there has been a lot of Australian press that has taken a similar approach to the project. I'm trying to remember them off the top of my head. Well, I know that the Change.org petitions that really influenced the Palace cinemas and the Dundee cinemas to pull the red pill screenings, those Change.org petitions largely quoted other articles that have been written about the film with misinformation about the film, particularly from the Village Voice, which is a big publication in New York, and they were the first to write a review about the red pill movie. It was more of a ideological rant, but you know, the Village Voice posted all this misinformation about the film, and then the Change.org petitions repeated that, regurgitated that information to Australian viewers or listeners or people online. And that, I believe, is what got the snowball rolling about the fear around the red pill movie. And unfortunately, because we have had so many screenings pulled from Australian theaters, Australians haven't been able to see the film for themselves to determine what is in this film that's so worthy of being banned. And I think if people watch the film, there isn't anything that justifies banning this film.
Okay, now most of my viewers are Australian, and I understand that the red pill is available in Australia now. Do you want to quickly tell us where they can go and see it?
Yes, so if you want to see the Red Pill movie in a theater in Australia, the best way is through fanforce.com, F-A-N-Force, F-O-R-C-E. And if you want to see it online in the privacy of your home because you're worried of what people will think of you if you go to a theater about men's rights, then there are a couple ways you can see it as an Australian online. So we are finally now on Google Play as of this week, and we are currently the best-selling documentary on Google Play in Australia. And we just released it on there 2 days ago. So you can watch it on Google Play online. There's also Vimeo. You can rent it or buy it on there. And Amazon Prime, that's a new release in Australia. You can watch it on Amazon Prime.
All right, Cassie Jaye, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.